You don't have a list for me of things I don't like.
We can start
But,
one.
but Pat might join me in this, and you could add it to his list.
Okay.
So I'm watching the Cardinals at the Cubs last night.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And
Boy,
it's-
you couldn't
and
have got a ticket to that game to save
No.
your life.
Even when it was 11-0 in
Yeah.
the second or something. What
So
a
the
basket.
Cardinals shortstop is a guy named Wynn.
Yes, sir. Young
Ma-
kid.
mayonnaise, Min, or
Marcel or something like
minus, minus,
Yeah,
min, Win.
that. Good young player.
And seemed like a nice guy, talkative. They got him mic'd
Yes.
while they're playing.
Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn.
And by the way, Mason is spelled Masyn.
I know you can forward
Yes.
but don't talk to a player while he's playing.
You know what?
I can't take it.
They're paying him $25,000.
They paid Wynn that?
Well, that's what Correa got last week.
You're kidding.
$25,000 for getting interviewed.
Oh, my word.
So the guy making 30, does he give it to one of his
Yeah.
board teammates or
Or
something?
donate it to charity or
Yeah,
something.
But
this is
what,
not-
what do they prove? They're proving that they can do it. Wait till you try to watch the All-Star game. They talk to everybody
Yeah,
during the
that's
game.
what I was going to bring that up.
It's a
That's where I remember
complete
it starting.
fiasco.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
There's something wrong with that. You shouldn't be
right.
talking to a player who's playing.
No.
I don't like when they
No,
talk to the manager in the dugout.
I don't either.
And hockey's doing it now. They were
Yeah,
talking
everybody
to
has to do
coaches
it. In
and
basketball, the NBA, they do it in between
I
periods.
can't take it.
You know, Tom, do you really want to talk to Tom Thibodeau at the start of the third quarter?
No.
If they're behind by 12, you know, he might punch you. You know, it's ridiculous. Just do it to show that they can.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't add anything.
Why don't they just tell us at the beginning of the game? We know we could talk to any player who's playing, but we're not going
we
to.
know it accomplishes nothing. So
What a bunch of BS.
it is.
I can't take it.
Wait, the All-Star game has gotten to the point where I watch it with the sound off, or if I watch it anymore. I mean, I used to be a dedicated All-Star game watcher, but
Wynn never did anything, by the way,
no,
in the field
I saw
the
one
whole time
ball
I
skip.
talked to him.
Yeah, well, he's sitting here talking to him where the Cubs are. I mean, the
They're
Cubs
down
are
11
running,
to 0.
Cubs are running around the bases like kangaroos.
The best was he warned PCA, the big Pete Crow Armstrong hotshot for the Cubs, said, "Hey, I'm mic'd up, just so you know." Like he's warning him, don't say anything,
okay.
you know, that somebody might hear, because he was warning the other guys.
I was I had breakfast with Coon Dog today out in Eden Prairie.
Ron Coomer.
He still has his condo out there.
Sure. Okay.
Because he and the wife's from St. Peter, so they come up and visit. And she owns part of a company up here, too, I think. But, you know, he's just got the job of all time being the Cubs radio guy.
best
Misses
thing-
8 games.
The best thing that ever happened to him is we didn't hire him
Yes.
to do radio.
Yeah. Well, he was, you know, he had a contract to do 30 Twins. He was going to be Bert's backup on
Sure.
TV, right? And then and then I think they were gone from here by the time he left, because he was at K-Twin doing a music thing, doing like a drive time with a couple other people.
Coomer was?
Yeah.
Coomer was, yeah, he was as part of the Twins deal,
Yep.
right? He was supposed to throw.
I forget who he was working with, but yes, he was
But they
doing.
must have moved to them by the time.
I
Coon
think
Dog
so,
left. Well,
yeah.
this is his 12th year, so.
Wow,
how's
has it
my
been that
math?
long already?
How's my math? 25. Yeah, 2008. 2008? Is that it? No, hell no. 2005, I guess. 2005.
Well,
he got
that's
that
20
job.
years.
Okay, what? 12 years, not 2000. 2000. 5, 7 years. 2013, 14, something like that. 13, 14 is when he got the Cubs job.
Well,
But
that's
he's succeeding. He's
11 years.
This is the 12th season.
I could pull up his bio.
But
I
it's not
suppose.
It's
necessary.
his 12th season.
It's okay.
2014.
Yeah.
So
Well, Pat's been throwing out a lot of dates.
14 to 20, that's 7 years. And then we got 5 more.
You know, not that I want to hear any more minutia when I listen to the game on the radio,
Yeah.
because I'm now learning where every player went to high school and college,
Yes.
which is not all bad to know that. But I wonder if it's a record that a team won back-to-back walk-off games with a home run and a bunt. I wonder if that's ever happened.
Sure that's happened. I'm sure. Yeah, that's happened. There have been a lot of baseball games played since 1901.
I know, but I wonder.
Yeah, well, it is. That was a nice play by Brooks Lee. And was that called? I'm not sure. Did I ever read? Was that called, or did he do it on his own?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
If we're going to mic up anybody, let's do this.
You're here, and this crew is here just to us.
Earl was dug out. Earl would have been.
Hey, do you remember?
I have it
this?
here. Hold on. I have it right here. In 2012 and 2013, Coomer was a color analyst for Fox Sports North, the Twins' primary television broadcaster. He also regularly appeared on K-Twin, the primary radio affiliate for the Minnesota Twins. On December 12, 2013, it was reported that Coomer would succeed Keith Moreland as the analyst on the Cubs radio network.
So how long did Moreland last after Santo died? Not too long, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, you know who got him the job? Pat Hughes called him, and even though Pat Hughes and he didn't really have a relationship, Pat Hughes, his first major league job was here in '83.
Really?
1 year, yeah. He just did 1 year.
Okay.
And
Color
then he
or
went to Milwaukee.
play-by-play?
He was play-by-play on TV, I believe.
Okay.
And Bramer might have succeeded him on TV because that's
On Midwest Sports Channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's what it was back
Pat,
then.
were you there on July 7th, 1980 at the Met Sports Center when Ledoux lost to Larry Holmes?
Oh yes, it was. I was
bloody.
I was watching. I was sitting near his wife.
Yeah.
I was cringing
Yeah.
for her because she had cancer at the time, which ended up being fatal.
Right.
A great gal, but yes. And then I went into the. Did you write that? Did you cover that?
Yeah.
And then I went into he and Joe Daskowitz,
Right.
and Scott was, was sitting there all puffed up and very upset that they'd stopped the fight.
Thank God they stopped.
He said he was working his plan, and I didn't say it.
Right. I just did
Were you
earlier
gonna-
today.
Were you going to? Did you think he was going to faint at the sight of blood? That's what I wanted.
Or the plan
That
was
my
to
thought.
exhaust Holmes, but letting him hit his face.
That is true. It was
Oh, it was
terrible.
terrible.
It was terrible. And I cannot believe that ALS isn't attached to something like taking all those punches.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
What did he
that's
get?
what did him in.
What did he get
ALS.
for that fight?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably made a nice payday, but
$100,000 or
wasn't worth it.
Right.
Oh, what a beating! Holmes just hit him in the face. About Scott was leading with his head, man. That was sad. What a great guy he was, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well to do. Do you ever threaten to beat you up or anything? Just
We
out
did-
of
Oh,
a
no,
joke?
No,
Out
he
of
was
a joke?
he was my friend.
Yeah.
Either I called him or he called me every
On your
birthday.
birthday, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a hell of a guy. Well, Bobby Ryan, who was from the Stadium Boxing Commission and a neighbor of ours when we first moved to Golden Valley, and his two sons ran with Ryan. Was he and Scott were like the closest friends that possibly be, and yeah, it was a sad deal, but that, boxing is gruesome when it's really one-sided.
Yeah.
And that was the case.
Did you spend the 4th of July on a lake?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I spent it. I was in the cement pond every day, though.
Oh, yeah.
But I will tell you, the neighbor kids,
Yeah.
the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old, and their friends,
Yeah.
their family, they had a hell of a time. They were in that pool for hours. It was great. And the 3-year-old girl,
Yeah.
Olivia, my pal,
Yeah.
is going to be an Olympic cannonball champion.
You
If
think
we
so?
can just get cannonballing in.
And why not?
in the
Everything else is
yeah, everything's in cannonballing. She was like a month ago, you could barely get her to jump in. Now it's just one stream after another. You jump in, you climb up the ladder, and you come and you jump right in again. So
I did ask a 4-year-old to show me her dive, and she did a cannonball. Mm-hmm. That's not a dive,
no.
but she doesn't quite get the concept.
No, but I have not had the guts as I did once when I was really full-figured before this new semi-full-figured guy that I am. And who was in there? A bunch of relative kids in, and I came running right out of the back, fast as I could, jumped up, virtually swept them out of the pool. It was unbelievable.
Was that the? Was that
They're
the?
clinging to life rafts.
Right?
Was that the origin of the $25,000 dip when he called in, Joe?
No, that
That was a different one.
That was
Okay.
the first time I've been swimming all year, and it was, it was just the first time I'd been swimming all year. But yeah, the neighbor kids love it. So what the hell?
I didn't think the Twins drew that well on two gorgeous 4th of July days.
You know what? 4th of July does not draw unless you're good in a lot of places.
Well, let
now.
me tell you why. There's nobody in town.
No, traffic was.
I never saw
wonderful.
anything like it. It was empty.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great. And they're not back yet because today I met Kumi out in Eden Prairie and breezed
Oh,
somewhere.
it took me
like
41
20
minutes to get here. It was nothing.
Yes, it was.
It was great.
What? Have people turned this into 2 weeks?
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
Because
Well, they
all
feel
last
it-
week you could feel it
Well,
coming. There's nobody
They
around.
feel shorted because when it's on a Thursday, then they leave Tuesday and
Yeah.
don't come back until the following Monday. This year, when it's Friday,
Yeah.
wait till the people are really going to be mad when they all realize that Labor Day is September 1st. This is the shortest summer we can have.
Yeah, it is.
I
is
hate
short.
that. I hate that. Unbelievable.
I'm trying to find the box score because somebody pointed out that in the heralded series between the White Sox and the Rockies over the weekend,
Oh God!
yeah.
they said
that
somebody
sold out
somebody
one
said they had a
Friday,
crowd of
Saturday.
41,000.
They must
In
shoot
Chicago?
off-
In
no,
Colorado.
In Colorado. They must shoot off some hellacious fireworks. There
I have a question
with
about
the
that.
mountains in the background. huh?
Why did the Twins have a 3:30 game Friday?
I don't know.
The holiday?
They want to shoot off fireworks.
Well, it's the
I
4th
guess.
of July. Why don't they have a night game and shoot off
That's true.
fireworks?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think the St. Paul. We don't do them anymore, right?
No,
They're too cheap.
that's anti-American.
Yeah, it's
you
too
don't
cheap.
want to do that.
I mean, we can't spend that. We
no,
can't
that's
waste that
too
money.
costly.
We can't waste that
We
money.
need that for another
But
diversity
I don't.
program.
Do we do it downtown Minneapolis still or not?
Oh, yeah.
Over the river.
Yeah. Red, white, and boom.
Oh, okay.
Well, the taste was this weekend. This past weekend,
I
right?
saw one of the TV stations doing a thing on how big the crowds were, and they didn't look that big to me. But I guess you got to do that.
There were fireworks in Minneapolis.
Okay, good. Well, we don't need them.
Shot off by the city or by other people?
This year, the city got away with it.
And are you going to go to the 7-block table dinner?
The hell is
Did
that?
you see that? Nicollet Mall.
No.
They're going to have a dinner for
Outside?
2,000 people.
You go table to table?
I know. You sit down and they bring you all kinds of food, I guess.
Pat, did you really think the mayor would attend such an event like
No, I'm not going to that.
No, I'm not going to.
Tell me when it
I'm
is.
not
I think I
going to
have
that either.
something.
You know why? I'm not worried about anything. But you do that in August.
Bad
You
food.
put that much. You put that much food out there.
Melts.
Flies.
No, I knew that's where you're going to go because that's on the list.
Flies.
I don't like outdoor dining.
No,
How about, you know,
not
like-
in the summer. When not that. Now we're getting to the fly season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't mind flies late in September when they're slow, but they still got speed to them now. And flies, I hate flies. Judley's funny.
Have you-
You know,
have you-
Judd's wife's a farm family from
Iowa, right?
Iowa, and,
Yeah.
they has to go down there like twice a year.
Right.
Always the holidays. I said, how the flies? He says, they invite them in. They open the door and invite them in. Farm family.
How about the mosquitoes?
Have some more potato
How
salad.
you doing on skeeters?
I
Oh,
haven't had any yet.
Not in town, but out of town I got them.
I
bad,
am covered in mosquito bites
Really?
from this weekend. Oh, it was bad.
I saw like wasps early, and I haven't seen any for a month. They must be planting something. They must be building some
Conspiring.
big nest underneath. You know what's when they build the nest under the deck
Yeah.
is when you're
You're in trouble. Yeah.
Sid would say, that's when you're screwed. And I haven't seen them, but once you first see the first three,
Yep.
you might as well start spraying. And so one of the spraying companies got a hold of me and said, well, you used to be a customer. I said, I'm not signing any contract with you guys. I want you to come once
Yeah.
and kill everything. I don't want you here in November looking for ants and stuff.
Right.
You know, I don't care
Right.
about ants. Just come and kill wasps, flies, and we had hornets last year.
Okay, I got a
They're
question.
quick little bastards.
I know that we're supposed to be pro bee. I like a nice bee.
I don't mind
I
a
like a
bee.
nice bee. What are hornets and wasps? What are they fun?
They
What are they?
accomplish nothing.
What do they do? Nothing.
No,
They don't make honey, do they?
no, hell no.
What are they?
They kill bees.
Yeah. What's?
That's wasps. They love eating a good bee.
Well,
know?
I disagree with
No
that.
ambition.
No ambition. They got plenty of ambition.
No, I don't. I don't spray bees.
I don't either.
I don't spray them, but I don't see many. But last year we had a loose shingle
Yeah.
above the bay window, Daily Boober there. The hornets got underneath
Oh,
there.
they'll find anything.
And I sprayed a couple, and all of a sudden there were 700 of them trying to
get you.
chase me into the garage, for God's sake. You know what I got in the garage now? I need a handyman like you.
Yeah.
I got you got the, when it shuts, you got the rubber, right?
The bottom or the, top?
The bottom.
Bottom.
the
Well,
rubber.
your hand is up here.
I
so-
got the long thing hanging down there.
What?
The rubber's, part of the rubber's loose.
Okay, let me ask you something.
And it's hanging down this
talking
far.
about the
and
threshold?
I keep putting it back up there.
Okay, let me ask
and
you something.
nothing happens.
When you raise the garage door, this
it
rubber
comes.
strip is hanging.
It comes down, yes.
Why don't you just tack it back in?
With what?
Little, little tacks and a hammer.
Well, here's the problem. When
Yeah.
you put it up, I can't see and I can't reach up there.
Can you stop it on the way up? Can you stop the
I
door?
suppose maybe I
There's
could.
the see. You never thought of that,
Never
did you?
thought it. No, I did. I did not think of that. I did not.
I can
I
come over
can't
and do that
reach
for you in
it.
about 10 minutes.
Well,
There's nothing wrong with the rubber strip.
I'm thinking Todd next door.
Yeah. Who
Whose
owns
kids-
the kids that
whose
use your
kid-
pool?
Todd.
Well, then you get him.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you can continue to have unlimited access
yeah.
to the pool.
Yeah.
But I ain't got.
But
this
you got to fix this door.
strip over here.
Is he the guy who bailed you out when you were getting the water out with the glass?
No.
That was a different neighbor.
That was my other neighbor.
I better upgrade to pail.
Jay Grobstein.
I got to get a pot or a pan.
Yeah, it was a
Pat,
pot.
is the rubber itself fine? Is
Yeah,
it shredded
yeah.
or torn?
No, it's just very.
It just came undone.
And I did successfully push it back in for about 2 days, and now she's hanging there. I was thinking of getting the thing you chop leaves with, or chop, when you're shrubs. When you're
Shears?
doing-
The shears?
We got every tool known to man. We just don't use any of them, but we have.
Well, you've got a hatchet.
No, you had to borrow that.
Oh, that's right.
You know what? I was talking to Kumi.
Or you call Precision Door. They
There you
advertise
go.
with
Well, I
us.
wouldn't mind having
Yeah.
them. I wouldn't mind a new fancier door. But looks
Well, they
good.
to sell doors too. There's a sale right now.
Garage doors.
Yes,
I
$200
might
bucks off a double door.
Wow, I might call them. But you know what Kumi told me today? Can't do anything mechanically. He can't. He's like me, and he didn't. He started telling me that without me telling him. He's talking to the biggest klutz in America. He says he doesn't. His wife's family owns a lumber yard in St. Peter.
Oh, you're kidding
And
me.
he
That's
said-
their family?
And he says these guys build buildings and, just out of nothing and do all this stuff. And I sit there like this. He said, can't do anything. All he did was play baseball.
Yeah, he's
you know?
there for entertainment purposes.
right.
Was he born in Minnesota?
No, Chicago, South Side.
Chicago,
Yeah. But
You know what I got the other day? a picture of a soon to be a junior in high school who plays summer baseball.
Okay.
And it was a picture in front of, they had a game on the south side 2 weeks
Okay.
ago.
Oh.
And I have a picture of him standing there like this in front of a very modest house, brick house. And I was challenged with the caption was, "Where is Mick standing?"
Kirby Puckett's house?
No, you're in the ballpark though.
Stelmazik. Who else grew up in that area?
Great player.
Not a baseball player.
Oh, football player.
Baseball fan.
Chicago.
Jordan?
Standing in the front yard of the new Pope's house.
Really?
Wow. Oh, that's
Grew up.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Modest home, huh?
Very tiny. Yeah, very modest.
Yeah. It's incredible when you look at what used to be a house for a family of, with
Yeah.
a bunch of kids. Your original home, I bet, was,
I thought I told you that story.
Yeah.
I was out for a walk one day, and I passed the house where I was a kid, and I started shooting the breeze with the owner, and I told him who I was. And he said, "Oh, do you want to see the house?" I hadn't been in it in 50 years or whatever. The rooms were tiny. They
they were
just tiny.
Yes, and the sisters all slept in one bedroom, and the brothers in another.
brothers in another room, and it was just a revelation how small. Because when you're a kid, you think the backyard's a football field.
Yes,
Right.
It was
right,
the
I
size of
know.
this table.
And the Robbinsdale is Theodore Wirth Parkway is gorgeous, big, wide thing over there. All these homes over there are like these little tiny things. They're kind of nice. But I always tell the story about Johnny Kudla, the coach of 6 NBA champions, right? 6 NBA champions. And then the Gophers, they lived in a house with the mom and dad and had a bedroom downstairs. And upstairs, they had two bedrooms and one bathroom. And the 2 sisters and mother-in-law lived in one bedroom, and the 3 sons lived in the other bedroom.
Holy
And there was one bathroom. And those bathrooms back then were a sink and a tub. It was not like some big cabinet.
Right.
or
And
not.
this guy was an NBA champion.
Yes, 6 times.
6
NBA
times.
champion. Sid was the guy approving the checks.
Well, no wonder he didn't make any money.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, they were probably charging. You go to Such. I think the first All-Star game at Met Stadium was $8 for a ticket. But it was
1965.
it was a decent ticket for $8. $8?
$8.
God Almighty! What do you mean $8?
Did you go to that game?
Yes, I loved it. Yeah.
You had an $8 ticket.
Yeah, the old man had tickets for that.
It'd be neat to still have that ticket stub.
Yes.
Because ticket stubs are now a thing of the past.
Yeah, you can show them your.
I don't like
you can
that.
keep-
I want a ticket.
Hey, I was at this game.
Yeah,
But
look,
you know what
get
you
my
can
phone.
do? Here's the other scam. You
Print 'em out?
can buy a digital copy of it to print out, but you have to pay extra for that.
Oh, really?
Here,
Yeah.
we got a problem Tuesday. Okay, I have to work. The wife, Chaz, is taking his wife and 2 or 3 sisters to the game.
Okay.
But I got to get the ticket. I got to go to work. But the ticket's on Katie's tickets on my phone, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to have to go to the game, work with somebody, drive back and get her, and then drive back.
You can text the tickets to her.
I don't.
What if they got lost?
I don't.
In the
ether.
She only
And the
needs
game of
one-
flaws would take
She
over.
only needs one ticket, but I also don't like the idea of her trying to figure out which ramp to park in and stuff like that. Plus, it's $25 a pop right now.
Yes, it is.
So
Well, how you mentioned the crowds? Isn't Saturday supposed to be the game where we got the Buxton bobblehead and Skeens might pitch for
Skeens
Pittsburgh?
is going to pitch, and the Cubs will draw 30, won't they? 3 times.
For sure. Yeah. They. I mean,
And
they.
they're the Cubs. They're in first place. They're playing great.
Do you think Skeens' girlfriend's coming to town?
That's where I was going to ask.
Exactly. Now, why did I have that same thought?
I think we all did.
When I
Well,
saw he
she's
was
just cuter
pitching
than a
it.
bug's ear.
Yes, a bug's ear.
Yes.
A big bug.
Very attractive young woman.
Yes, she is.
Well,
And
she's a
guess
gymnast.
what? She knows it.
Oh, yeah.
She knows it.
Yeah, but
He's not marrying her. She's not marrying him. She can do better. He's going to make some money, but he's kind of an ugly mutt, big tall mutt. She could take her pick of.
Are they college
up and-
sweethearts?
Yes, LSU.
Well, he was only there 1 year.
Oh,
You know where he pitched before? Air Force Academy.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, he only transferred to LSU.
For 1 year.
Yeah,
That's right. I forgot about that.
but yeah, she's.
what a National League week. The Cubs and the Pirates coming in. Mm-hmm. Huh.
Although the-
Pirates just had a four-game sweep over the weekend when they scored like 40 runs or something.
I
and then
was
they
looking-
started losing again.
Skeens has won one game. I saw this either yesterday or this morning. He's won one game in his last 13 outings, and his ERA is 1.72.
And then all of a sudden they popped up and got all those runs.
That's almost mathematically impossible.
Yes, it is.
That's
It
how
is
bad the
impossible.
Pirates are.
It is impossible. That's how come our guy got fired, and they brought in the new manager. So, what's he?
Falvey. No, not Falvey. What was his name?
Falvey hasn't been fired yet.
Well, Shelvin.
Shelley.
Is it a given that Detroit is going to win this division?
Oh, yeah.
They're 13
They're
and a half
13
of the
up.
second place Twins.
Right.
Derek Shelton.
Derek Shelton, nice guy, good guy.
How about the fact that the Twins haven't been playing well and they still leapfrogged Cleveland because they've lost
10
11.
or-
I thought it was 11.
Maybe it's 11.
No.
And the Kansas City, after the most improvement in franchise history, is terrible.
Pat, did you watch any of the John Deere?
No.
Here's
Who
the
won,
deal.
by the way?
Brian Campbell in a playoff.
Never heard of him.
Well, that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
You really can tell the difference between the top 10 players in the world and everybody else.
Yeah.
These guys, I think we've gone to a playoff now 2 weeks in a row because they can't finish. They don't know how to finish. Last week, the playoff went to 5 holes. Yesterday, it only went to 1 hole.
Well, the John Deere, even before Live and stuff, was always like got the lowest turnout, and ours is not spectacular, but it's going to be a little better than the John Deere.
He beat Emilio Grillo in a playoff.
Emilio was going to be a phenom about 10 years ago, and then he faded. Is he an Argentinian?
Well,
I
his
think?
second shot to the green on the first playoff hole, he hit it. He flew the green, landed way in the back, and a chip out. He did that poorly. Then he gets a bogey. The other guy's waiting. He's 10 feet away. He can win it with 2 putts, which he did.
Why do we have to have a tournament every week? Why don't they just take a week off?
They never mention anything about the British Open. Usually the Deere winner gets to go to the Open. They fly
really?
a plane full of them over there.
Yeah.
They never mention that. Is the British Open this week? I don't think it
Well,
is.
It's a week before us. So we got 3 weeks? Yeah. We're the last week, and so there's no.
So
It's
the
a week
British
after
Open
next.
is not this
no,
week.
it's a week after next.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
July 17th through the 20th.
Where are we at?
The Open Championship will be held at Royal Portrush Golf Club in County Antrim, Northern Ireland.
That is isn't Portrush rather one of the newer ones?
I think so.
Compared, not 30, 40 years old.
But that'll be Rory battling out with who's the Irishman that won a few years ago? Shane Lowry.
Shane Lowry could be. How's Rory got his driver figured out since they stole the other one from
I
him?
don't know.
I don't get having an old driver is an advantage. What is the advantage?
Mental.
It gets lighter than.
Have
it
you ever
has to
heard
be?
of David Lipsky?
No. Oh
Kevin-
yes, I have. But
Kevin Roy,
no.
Jacob Bridgman,
Yes, he was on the leaderboard here last year.
Carson Young, Nick Dunlap,
Yes. He's
Austin
a great college
Eckroat.
player, Dunlop.
Rico Hoey,
Uh-uh.
Siwoo Kim, yeah,
Yeah, I just can't. Well, I get
Jackson-
I get my Kims mixed up.
Jackson Koivuun, These are the top 10. I'm reading the.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I know golf better than any other sport now, and I don't know these guys.
Could
By
I
the
throw
way,
a name at you?
What?
Have you heard of Ryan Peake?
No.
How about this? Because when I Googled the dates for the Open, this story popped up. It's an incredible story of Ryan Peake, a former gang member and convict who spent time in prison and the most unlikely golfer that's going to compete at Royal Portrush.
You're kidding.
I'm not. I'll send you the story.
Is he
This
an
is
Englishman?
I would assume so. I'll send you the story. It's
Do they let them play when they're in prison over there or work on their game?
What the hell?
he thought prison was the natural evolution of his choices, privately relishing how it might elevate his street cred.
Oh, good, sure.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
I'd hate to be his caddy if he makes a mistake.
well, it sounds like the young man straightened out.
Yeah,
his
he
life
turned his
now.
life around. What a
well, I'd
story.
like to read that.
What do you think
I'll
about
send it to
our-
both of you.
What do you think about our hockey team not spending any of that money? Do you think they had nobody to spend it on? Are they going to sign Rossi, by the way? Apparently, they and Rossi have a very different opinion on Rossi's value, somebody told me. Rossi wants a nice hunk of change, and they don't want to pay him that much.
And they haven't paid the commie yet.
No, that's. Are they waiting for a big pre-camp splash or
Maybe.
something? He's got to take it. I mean, you got to take it, right?
I don't
Or
see,
trade him for McDavid. I say.
I don't see a cup in the near future.
Oh, Joe wasn't here last week for your big prediction.
What
They're
happened?
going to trade Kaprizov for McDavid. McDavid's unhappy and wants out.
Yeah, but
We'd have to
Kaprizov
throw
ain't
those.
unhappy.
No, but if you could get McDavid, you'd give him up.
Yeah, the rap on McDavid is he didn't play very well in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you can give the same rap to the
Yeah, that's true.
Fighting Wild. So
I do think
don't know. I feel-
McDavid does want out of there.
Tom Reed deserves a second round playoff series. Damn it!
When's the last time Tom Reed had a second round playoff?
2015.
Jeez.
That's a long time to be over there.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
2014. They have their. Let's see. The Timberwolves have now won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playoff rounds, right?
Yep.
And I think the Wild. Well, they've won more than that, but they haven't won many more than that because they've only 3 times been out of the first round. And the team they have in the history of hockey and Timberwolves basketball in this town, the two franchises have never in the same season advanced out of the first round.
We're in the only 2-week period of the year, really,
With no
where the only
NFL.
things going is baseball.
Yep,
They're down to about, they get 2 weeks.
no NFL. And the Viking insanity is going to reach new levels when the J.J. McCarthy debate starts,
Yep.
right? Because if you right now hint that J.J. doesn't have a strong enough arm or something, now I'm not on Twitter, but I see the feedback from Twitter. People go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
We are convinced this guy's going to be fabulous. So
To the point, Joe, where the boys had Sports Center on the other day. I think this was yesterday, and on the corner we had the camp countdown clock.
oh really?
No.
Yes.
Because I think isn't the Hall of Fame game this month? Isn't that
Probably,
usually the lid lifter
Yeah.
for the preseason schedule?
I think they squeeze that in August.
Did you ever go to a Hall of Fame game
God,
with the
no.
Vikings?
No. I don't,
I
and
went to
you know
one.
what? I don't regret it either.
I was there one year for an induction, maybe Allen's, and I decided to go over and write in the press box at the stadium, and it was the dumbest thing I ever did. First of all, I had to haul my fat ass up because they don't have an elevator,
Right.
and then you sit there and you're bored as hell, and then you got to get back down again. So
Would
that
you
was-
guys have been there for Bud?
I never covered a Hall of Fame induction.
I
for
was there for
football.
Bud.
Oh.
I was there for Bud, and I was there for Page. And there's only 2. Are those the only 2? I think maybe there's the only 2 I've been at. But Bud was great. Just seeing Sid strangle the podium there. Sid was. You thought it was going to shatter. But he wrote it. I think Chad helped him write it. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. And then that allowed me, of course, the next week to see Scott Studwell and tell him, Scott, after seeing what a fine job Sid did for Bud, I just want you to know that if you go to the Hall of Fame, I'm more than perfectly willing to give the speech beforehand. This is a guy who called me every name in the book about 12 times.
Well, how did he take it when you said that?
He laughed.
He laughed.
He was official by then.
Yeah.
He was an official by then.
Yeah.
Everything. We were smoothed out by then. But I had written the thing when he quit, his last game, and they had the ceremony honoring him, and I wrote this thing about the great warrior from Illinois and blah, 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 and the last game and all this thing. And I said, then it was, we speak, of course, of David Huffman, who will be played. Studwell's father-in-law called me the other day, a couple days later, and said, he's not that bad a guy. His father-in-law was a great guy. He was an Apple Valley guy.
Yeah.
It is surprising that he never got even a sniff of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. And
He was a great player.
God, does he still lead him in tackles?
I think Greenway might have passed him, but
that's right.
yeah, he played 14
How
years.
about Greenway's daughter making the
Oh yeah,
18 and under USA basketball team at age, 15 now?
isn't she gonna be a senior?
Going to be a senior. She's probably 16.
Okay,
God, she's an athlete. She was great track athlete.
Yeah.
300-meter hurdles, 100-meter hurdles, and I think she won one of them. She won the longer of the hurdle races at the state tournament. So
Is Roy Griak still alive?
no, Roy died.
He was wasn't he the
God.
coach forever?
Yes. Yeah, and before that, he was the coach at St. Louis Park forever.
Yeah.
Distance runner. He was really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. They don't have men's indoor track anymore. That was one of the sports that they cut. Boy, that saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
That
about
must
10
have saved
bucks.
him. That must have saved you a couple $100,000, out of the whole budget. So I was in Rocco's office the other day, BSing with him, and Dustin comes in and says, who's coming to visit Rocco in about 15 minutes? I said, no. He said, P.J. Fleck.
Oh.
I said, well, Rocco, give him my best wishes. will
I'll
you?"
be on my way.
In fact, Rocco, I'm leaving now.
Yes, right. Just in case we have an actual meetup.
As in like an inspirational go-in one for the.
I think they met him, and I think Rocco went around and introduced himself to and had discussions with some of the
Okay.
prominent coaches in
PJ
town.
just got the extension.
Yeah, I got another one.
Yeah.
Second straight year.
Yeah.
Second straight year. So anyway, he got the kid from Jackson, Minnesota, who was supposedly Alabama wanted bad. Ryan
And
Boss.
he kept coy.
Yes,
He didn't
kept
transfer because that kid could have went anywhere.
Oh yeah, Parrish, and the kid they're going to make him a tight end, right? Isn't
I can't
Ryan
remember.
Boss? He was the quarterback when I saw him at Jackson, but anyway, they got him. So
Yandy. What's Yandy's last name?
Diaz?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the best name in baseball. Yandy.
Yandy.
That's
Yandy's
a great
good
name.
too.
Yeah.
Yandy's good. But they're having bullpen issues, Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the next time they do the live mic on a Sunday night game, you got to give it to someone who can barely speak English.
yes,
I think it'd
that's
be
right.
hilarious.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Like
See.
Yandy. Yes,
And
see?
somebody ought to. By the way, Jose Barrios, I saw him at the end of a Blue Jays game the other day. He's still bringing out the Spanish interpreter with him when he does the post game. Speaks English better than 80% of U.S.-born citizens, but he brings them out. He's having a good year, by the
Yeah,
way,
he is
Jose.
pitching very well. Well, they're in first
They're
place,
first
aren't
place.
they?
They
Yeah.
won 8, 9 in a row.
Who was the leadoff hitter for the Twins, who I argue should never have been traded?
Span?
No, the great young kid. Then he went to the
Gogo?
Marlins, didn't he?
Carlos? Go.
Oh, no, Arise.
Yeah.
Louis Arise.
Where's
yeah.
he now?
San Diego.
Is he playing well?
He actually drove in a couple runs last night.
Yeah.
He has struck out this season 7 times,
Oh my word.
but he's only walked like 15. He
He goes
ball in
up there
play.
hacking.
He goes up. He puts the ball in play. He
Yep.
struck out 7 times.
That's amazing.
Yes. I think, okay, you can throw all the exotic numbers at me. It's fun to have a guy like that on your team.
Yes, it
isn't
is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna hit the ball somewhere and get a hit. He was hitting about a 130 the first month of the year, so now he's back to 280 or so. He might win another batting. He's won 3. Right?
3 in a row. Yep.
Yeah. So
All right.
anyway, all right, that's enough.
That's
More than you deserved once again,
I
ladies
think
and
so.
gentlemen.
Can you sell
You
us a
wanna sell
car, Mr.
I
Ricey?
would love to, man, alive. I saw that we're tariffing it up again today. We're threatening tariffs again. So no tariffs effect yet with these Buick products and Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. Tremendous number of SUVs out there. Prices are great right now. They have financial guys out there that will make it happen for you. And factory rebates. What more do you want? It's a terrific time here in the middle of the summer. You know, the middle of the summer, the fellows get even more generous when they're selling automobiles. 2024, 2025 at Apple Valley, Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. Check out the website and find out the tremendous inventory you have there, and they will make it happen for you if you go out there.